All right. So we got a special guest today. This is my longtime friend, probably my best friend. Um, I know that makes you happy, but
Yeah,
yeah, this is very close, dear friend of mine named Tyler Kruger. Um, and he's been my teammate in soccer for years. He's been my friend at school for years, and he actually works for USA Sports Group as a coach and a trainer. Um, And this is what, maybe year four? Is that what you were saying?
yeah. I graduated year below you, so 2021. So I started like right after I graduated.
Okay,
So yeah,
right. So right after COVID. Um, yeah. So just I guess we'll start. You could give me a little background about yourself, and how you got into coaching and where the love of soccer came from. And you could just go into depth on that.
awesome. Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for thinking of me when you have this project. Max, definitely one of my best buddies throughout all the years, teammate, going to school, everything. Um, so yeah. Um,
Appreciate it.
how I got in. Okay, so yeah, like I played soccer all my life. I love soccer. Go to the field multiple times a week till this day, right? And like growing up, just like any other like kid our age, right? Like my like actual like life goal was to be a professional soccer player, like a professional like athlete, right? And I got to high school and I was like, maybe I'm not going to be a professional soccer player, right? But I remember I was sitting in science class one day, my freshman year, and it just came to me like, you should be a soccer coach. And ever since then, like my goal was like to be a soccer coach. So yeah, that's how I started. My cousin originally started working at the company I'm at, USA Sports Group, and so that's how I like found out about the organization and my job. And yeah, I graduated high school and I applied. I coach a U13 travel or excuse me club team, and then for boys. And then on the other hand, I also coach like I coach like younger kids. Um, we don't. It's just like a practice, like a week kind of thing. Like there's not like games. It's kind of more just like development. But so yeah, there's like two parts of it. I do like that, and I also have like an actual team.
Awesome. So yeah, so what age group are you training? Like, yeah, you say like on the side besides the U13 boys, you're doing training. What around like do the ages vary, but like,
Yeah,
what's kind of
like
the age
so
range?
if you like go on the website or like wherever, it'll say we do age groups like one or two. Like we do like parent and me classes, like 1 and 2 year olds. So that's got to be like the lowest, right? It says
Right,
we
right.
go up to 14. I've only seen on like this half of the coaching job, like I haven't seen like that many older kids. The majority of the kids I coach are 3 to 5. I have like parent and me classes with like 1 and 2 year olds, and then I've had like 6 to 8 year olds, uh, some like 8 to 10s. I've had some 12 year olds, primarily like younger kids, and then on the other hand, like I coach the older kids for like the actual team. That's where the fun is.
Right, right. Well,
And
before we get into anything, I'll say that you were a great player. So, I mean, obviously, I wanted to be a professional growing up too, and like that wasn't gonna happen. We all come to that realization at some point, I guess.
I
But
went
yeah, I
from being
mean,
a little kid and wanting to be like a ninja when I grew up, and then I got a little older and I was like, I got to be like a little more realistic. I'll be a professional soccer player, and it took me till like being like in high school to realize like, oh, you know what, like, not everyone becomes a professional soccer player.
right, no,
But I
exactly.
remember to this day like sitting in Mr. D'Annunzio's science class freshman year, and I like literally sat down. I was like, dude, I should be a soccer coach. And like since then, I'm 22 now, and like that's always been on my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the love for the game never left. And honestly, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I mean, it's like almost like a whole newfound love for the game because like
Oh,
obviously we loved playing, but coaching is a whole different aspect and like you have the IQ when you play soccer, like you know what to do, but like maybe we're not professional athletes enough to be able to do everything that we want to do on the field, but maybe we can coach it. And like you're a great coach.
Yeah, man. I mean, like on the one hand, it's just something I'm very like passionate about. Played all my life, watched it. You can kick anywhere. You don't if you don't have another buddy or someone to kick with, you can shoot by yourself. You can just juggle. You don't even need to go and like you can go in your driveway if you need to. If you don't even have a
Right.
lawn, like I've always played soccer. I don't know, I'm just passionate. I want to do something with my life that I enjoy. So why not just play, do something with soccer? And
Awesome.
yeah, bro, like it's just like cool because it's like it gives you like a whole different like perspective on it as well. Because like we played our whole lives, and now you know, we all had coaches telling us what to do and stuff, and now I'm that guy. So
Right.
see it from a
Yeah.
different view, and it just makes you appreciate it more. It's cool.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll start off by asking, like you were talking about the younger groups. What do you think the hardest age group to coach is? Or maybe where, yeah,
Believe it or
yeah.
not, believe it or not, like when I say this, a lot of people say like, "Oh, like it's not like." What I'm saying is like it's believe it or not, it's not the parent and me classes, and a lot of people say, "Oh, like aren't they like the youngest? Like isn't that the hardest?" Well, it's like it's parent and me, so it's like if a little kid's like crying or like doesn't want to do it, their parents is right there, and they just take their kid and that's that. The hardest is probably 3 to 5 year olds, and for that part, that's what I usually coach. Because it's like I'm great with kids. I love kids. Like I have a lot of fun with them. I like doing it, but it's definitely the most challenging because like they're babies. They're like you're trying to teach a baby soccer. I mean, that's you know,
Right. And like maybe some of them, because I know when I was like 4 or 5 years old, like obviously I was like starting to like playing and like maybe I was like getting into it. Like, you're learning how to dribble and just stuff like that. But I remember like, I mean, you're so immature. Like we would have game days. I'd be like 5, 6 years old, like rec games, and I would just run off the field. Like,
yeah.
like stuff
I
like that's definitely got to be
doing
crazy to.
so not to cut you off. I was just thinking like I that totally just made me remember like the same thing. Like I was like 4 or 5 years old, and like I was in a rec game, and I was just doing like somersaults up and down the entire. But I was like running with. I was like in the game, like I was trying to play, but in my head I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta flip. Like I don't know, but yeah, like you're just like kids are just young and funny, immature, but
But it's not even so much, it's
it
not just,
gets a little stressful.
right, but it's not even just about like teaching them soccer. It's like they're also at such like an influential age. Like you're a figure, you're like maybe like in a way, a parental figure. Like you have to be like on their case, especially when it's not mom and me. Like these kids are so immature, you have to kind of be the authoritative figure even beyond soccer, like for a little bit, Like if they're
Absolutely.
goofing off, being stupid, like hitting each other and doing that stuff, that's the
Yeah,
immaturity.
yeah, yeah. You definitely, you know, and there's times for like, like I got my assistant coach with my U13, and like, I wish I had some help more often when I coach like the 3 to 5 year olds. Sometimes I have an assistant coach there, you know, other times I don't, and yeah, like 3 to 5 year olds, they cry, they bicker and stuff. I've had kid like just full on book it to the road, bro. We were we were on this giant field, and I wasn't even the lead at this time. I was filling in for someone else at a camp. I forget what town it was in, and I don't even think it was my kid. And we had all the kids getting water, and I just look up, and this kid is like halfway down the fucking field, bro.
It's fine. No, it's okay. You're good.
My bad.
You're fine.
So, so, so this kid was halfway down the field, and I just looked up and I just I just booked it. I put it in fourth gear, just darted at him, bro. I literally just caught him by the road, and I was looking around like, who's watching you, bro? Like it was ridiculous. But
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Wow. Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot more stories where that one came from, dealing with kids that age. But let's get into some juicier questions. Just
yeah,
yeah, we'll get the ball rolling a little bit. So, I mean, how long have you been coaching? You said it
like
was around 4 years, so you started 2021.
yeah,
And was
yep,
it you jumped right into coaching, or was there training that you had to go through to become one? Yeah. So,
yeah. Like it was training for the organization. Like they had like their own like questionnaire and like their whole training process. Um, and I also got my coaching license, so yeah, and then you have to be like I'm like CPR certified,
okay,
and
yeah.
I've never, and like even for everything, like I have a first aid kit, but like I've really never had to use it or do CPR or anything like that. I've actually had it. The worst things that's happened is I've had like some bee stings at my practice, and I just got to give them like a band-aid or something. But
Right.
yeah,
They're
or
bubbling
like
around.
an ice pack. Kids bang their heads, and but
Right.
thank I had to use CPR. Yeah,
Huh. Um, yeah. So maybe could you give us through like a day in the life? Like what's the typical day like, or maybe a week like for your coaching as far as the U13 goes and maybe even the training?
yeah. Um, so I coach U13 boys. We're called the Patriots. Um, because USA Sport Group, so USA
Mhm.
Patriots. Um, they're pretty good. We this season we are we are 7-2 right now. So our last game coming up,
Pretty good.
not this weekend, well Sunday, so next week. Um, yeah, doing pretty good. Um, I've been coaching. I started with the other coaching first, like the little kids. So I just started like coaching this team last in the fall, because there's like a fall season, and this was the spring season. So this is my first year. But yeah, I'm the coach. I have an assistant coach. Um, I got a cool my assistant coach named Mark, and then my trainer Alan. He's funny. He's just like some big British guy. Those talk your ear off about soccer all day long.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, so like how often do you guys have practices? You have what, games once a week? How does it
Uh,
go?
yeah. So I'm with the Patriots. 7 o'clock Monday and Wednesdays, and then we have our games on Sundays. And then right now for the spring season, for like the little kids that I coach, I'm with kids in I'm with kids in Denville on Tuesdays from 4 to 7. Each practice is like an hour long, and
Okay.
I'm also in um, literally on NetCon. Sorry, I'm in NetCon on Thursdays.
Okay, yeah, for a little just like side note, we're from New Jersey, so he's a coach in New Jersey, North New Jersey. Um,
Right, I forgot you're not.
yeah, I mean we're in North Carolina, so should probably make it known that Netcong and Denville are towns right around our town of Sparta. So yeah, so he's a coach in North Jersey. Um, so yeah, it seems like I mean you're pretty busy. It seems like you meet less frequently with the younger kids. Um, like I'm saying, maybe like an hour at a time, but you're doing what, like once a week with the young kids or
Yeah, like there's like with the young kids, right? Um, like it's different than like me coaching, like because like my U13, like that's a club team. This isn't like club team. Like the kids, like they don't play games. It's just like a practice once a week.
right, right.
The majority of these kids, like I said, like I coach 3 to 5 year olds. my like view on it is like, well, first of all, there's no game, so obviously it's just like a thing for little kids to go and have fun and play soccer, once a week. Um, I kind of lost my train of thought there, not gonna lie. I apologize, but yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, so with that being said, like they're only like hour-long practices. Like majority of them are young kids, so like you know they can only go for so long.
Right. Yeah, still with that being said, like I mean, a week, I mean, you're doing practices twice a week with the U13s, you're doing games on the weekends, and then you
Yeah,
have, those practices with the kids too. So I mean, you're very well occupied.
yeah,
Um, okay, yeah, nice. So yeah, let's get into the U13. So you said they're the Patriots. U13 means it's 12-year-olds, correct? Is
yeah.
that
Like
what it is?
13-year olds, like 12, turning 13. You know,
Okay, okay.
so like there could be kids who are 12 turning 13. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like years, pretty much.
right. Okay, so like how did you get involved coaching this age group? Did you have options or was it,
Yeah,
did they
like the part like I said, like I started with like the young kids first, and like it's like a whole different part like thing in our organization. So like I started doing that first because like I said earlier, my cousin used to work there, and like he referred me to the job, like um so I started doing what he was doing. That's what he was into first. And he took it a different path. He like did his internship there for college. Um and then he got his internship turned into a job with the equipment manager. So like I and also on that, like our company mainly focuses on soccer, like with the club soccer and all that. But for the other part, how I was saying, like with the kids, we do soccer, basketball, t-ball, um, golf. I've coached a little golf too. That's fun. Um, I'm trying to think if there's another sport. We do like flag football camps. So, um,
so just
yeah, like
introducing them into, this is kind of where they're going to start figuring out what sports they might be good at or which ones they start liking. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
awesome.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, no, that's great. So like, I mean, I didn't even fully realize that, you were doing even more than soccer with those kids.
I primarily do soccer, but I also do like basketball a lot. I've done like some flag football camps, and they do snag golf. So it's like they're like really little kids, so they don't like bring their own golf clubs. We just have these like it kind of looks like gym equipment, honestly. Like they're like big clunky like plastic ones, and we hit like
Oh
tennis balls.
yeah,
Fun.
I've
So
seen those. That's a
I'm a
blast.
soccer guy. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I'll give you some more questions. So, as head coach, what do you think like your main responsibilities are? Like what, what might be the hardest part about coaching or like what's the most like, what do you have to focus on the most as a coach? I mean, obviously it's like you guys want to win, but I mean, you have a trainer and an assistant coach. Are you facilitating practices? Are you letting the trainer kind of run the show? Like, you know, what are the tasks at hand as a head coach for your team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you want to win. You know, I took it really serious. We both like were really into it when we were young. Like all these kids want to be better. So we hold for the club team. Like we hold them in high standards, but at the end of they are also like 12 and 13-year-olds. So it's like you know there's like a fine line of upping the intensity and also trying to keep it fun.
Yeah.
We were good this year, and we've been good. We have good kids, good athletes, um, kids who want to learn, and that makes it easier. When everyone's on the same page like that. You know, like growing up, we played together in high school. Like I don't know if you've met kids on like teams you played for before that like we're just there because like this is like when we're young, like just playing because like their parents want them to play a sport or just playing because like just to have fun, which is great. But like, it's not like I don't have any slackers. That's what I'm rambling on here, you
Okay.
know.
No,
Uh,
no, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, but okay, so I mean, as far as practices go, are you kind of leaving it up to the trainer to, you
oh,
know,
okay. I didn't even mention that. So I'm there. We practice Mondays and Wednesdays. All three of us are there pretty much both days. Our trainer doesn't go to the games, but he's there for the practices. Um, and yeah, I mean, we all kind of have like the same like play style that we want to use with the kid. You know, like we do the four. What is it like 4-2-3-1? You know,
yeah,
formation.
yeah.
Defenders, two defensive mids, one offensive mid, two wingers, and a forward. You know, like we're all on the same page with that. Seems to be working so far. You know,
Yeah. 7-2 is pretty good. Like,
I mean, in a 10 game season, so
yeah.
yeah, for second place. I think we're gonna
Could
stay.
you get to first?
No,
No.
no.
All right, well, I mean, runner up isn't
The
too bad.
the team that's 9-1.
Yeah, yeah. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, so sounds like you guys kind of are all on the same page with running practices and whatnot. Um, is there like a specific role maybe for the assistant coach? Is he kind of just overlooking you or you're just overlooking him? Like, maybe are there days where you're not at your practice and he's kind of filling in for you, like,
Um, I usually make all my practices, but yeah, like that could definitely happen. I've missed a practice or two, you know, and he can definitely just take charge. Um, I'm the head coach. He's the assistant coach. You know, like I'm bothly. You know, obviously, like both of us know the whole roster and all that of kids we have, and both have our own copies and all that. But like on paper, like I'm the guy in charge of all that. You know, I like on paper I run things. I really do for that team. You know, but like also like my assistant coach Mark, he's very good at what he does. He's passionate about the team. He also like you know, he helps me out a lot. You know, like it doesn't feel like, you know, it doesn't feel like it's not like I just boss him around. You know, like we just meet up and talk about what we want to do and collaborate, and that's really that. You know,
Right. So it's more like working together at the end of the day. It's not like a hierarchy. Like you're not acting like you're way above him. It just seems like you guys are both.
me too. Like like he's been coaching a lot longer than I have, so we just talk and find the best. You know, we play like I like striker and center mid. He was a big striker. We both kind of have the same like IQ of the game or like same like vision of it, I suppose. So we get along pretty well. Yeah.
Do you think that helps that you both have like that maybe like attacking mentality, or do you think maybe if one of you were attacking and the other one was, a strong defensive mentality, do you think that would be more beneficial, or do you like how it's kind of same
I,
idea, same?
I mean, that's like striker, like center mid, kind of like what I am more at heart. Like if you ask me like what position I am, that's what I would say. But like I played a lot of center D too. You know, I'm good anywhere up in the middle. Like there's been many years where I've played center D. Um, and like all real men play defense, right? Like he's Marsh played some D as well. Like I think our defensive and offensive game is pretty solid. The big thing is um the big thing is like the parts in between. I guess like okay, we're on defense, we get the ball. Where do we go? Like right off the bat, it's one thing to like you can do a drill where like you can do like shooting drills or you could do an offensive drill where it's like, okay, like we're gonna run it in to score here, but like we also try and practice like, okay, we're in midfield or we're in our own end of the field and we just stole the ball. Where are we looking to? Where's that pass
Right.
going? You know, um, so we focus on that as well as also like shooting and all that, and it's all came together well. 7-2, baby.
Awesome. Yeah, no, 7-2 is great. It's also like reminding me of so many drills that we used to do as kids, like what you're saying, like the counterattack kind of drills where it's like you're getting the ball out of the backfield and I would remember we would go through it like 100 times, like maybe you're not looking up at the right place. Like maybe you get the ball and you're looking at your feet and you're not looking to get it wide. And like I
Yeah.
remember those drills like crazy.
And also, like, you're never like, you can say this for anything. Like, okay, like you're taking, you could take you could take 100 free kicks a day, hit it bar down, top right, wherever, 100 times. But like in a real game, you're never gonna get the perfect shot. So it's different. Like you're not gonna have a free kick. You're gonna score off like a run. You're gonna be running with the ball, or like defense. Like okay, you recover the ball. You're doing a drill where like if I don't have a I don't have like a what's it called, a clipboard down here.
Whiteboard.
Yeah, whiteboard. But like like in a locker room, but like when the coach has his whiteboard and he's showing everyone where the position is. In a drill we might line up just like that, but in like open play when it actually happens in a game, one guy might be over there and another guy's over there, and there's like two or three defenders in between. So it's like you got
Yeah.
to learn how to like evaluate. It's all about IQ.
Like it's getting like game sense basically is like
Like and like obviously we take like the physicality aspect, like actually like you know actually like using the ball, using your body. We take that in high regards, but also it's just about like really like teaching kids about like the IQ of the game,
yeah.
like their vision.
Because that's also the age like 12, 13 is like you're getting good at the game. You're at an age where because even like you 14, 15, that it's starting to get serious if you're really the parents at that age are wild. Like, you know,
Yeah,
they're looking at their son out there and they're cursing at the ref sometimes. It gets pretty crazy. That's at the age where you start knowing if you're gonna really like enjoy the sport and you're gonna pursue it or if you're kind of being shied away. And that's also where I think even for me, like that age is kind of where I learned most of my IQ, like your game knowledge from. We're just like that's like the most influential age for you to be out in the field, I think. So that's a pretty important age to coach, in my opinion.
yeah. I'm not. I'm like kind of laughing, not to put my man on the spot, but I was thinking about when your dad was our soccer coach in that like spring league, and your dad got a yellow card for like cursing at the other coach or something, like just talking smack. That was awesome.
Yeah. I forget exactly what happened, but yeah, I'm pretty
That was
sure I
like,
know.
bro, like that was when Mosbach scored the two goals. We had a bunch of scrums per
Yeah.
se,
Wait,
like
well, was that also
that
that
was
was
on
probably the same it's
at
probably
home.
the same season where it was like halftime and I think we were like down a goal and our team was just like joking around, like laughing with each other and my dad got really pissed off and like
Yeah.
cursed us out and like
It was,
apologized after.
but I remember that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Those are good times, man.
I guess that's besides the point, but yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes you got to put your guys in line like that. We all shut up immediately, and we realize the importance. I mean, we're losing, and we're sitting on the sideline, joking around.
What else? Like, we all like your dad. We all respected your dad. So it's like he wasn't like that big of a yeller at us. He just talked to us.
Never.
That one time he fucking, dang, I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
Well,
The one time,
the
yeah,
one time, the one time he did yell, like we all like shut up. Like
yeah,
that's like with me, right? Like I really like kids, so I like, like I'm good with them. Like I can, I would like I've never had like a bad team, like maybe I have like a kid who like causes problems, but I've never had like a whole team just like not be on the same page with me. I always kind of like level with them. I always get kind of cool with them. So it's like whenever like they are like, goofing off too much, you know, talking when I'm trying to give them like a drill and they're talking and giggling in the back, like if I tell them to stop, they stop, if they're really goofing off, I got to yell, like, it works, I got to yell. But I don't like yelling, I just want to play our games, we get the games, we get the practice over sooner, the sooner we can skirmish, everyone knows that. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah,
eh.
so that's another question I guess I have. Like, how do you maybe like what drills or how do you, because obviously you want to keep it competitive and you guys want to win. You're 7-2, you're a good team, but how do you keep the players like loving the sport? What do you do? Do you maybe throw in fun drills? Like, how do you keep them engaged enough where maybe it's not all about the competition, but it's also about, loving the game?
um, well, I think as far as like the game plan, like the way like like schedule out our practices, like we go there with the intent to get better and play better as a team and play for a win. Like we do good practices. Like we what am I trying to say here? We have good drills, and we always think of new stuff and different areas to cover, to teach these kids. Um, as far as like, what are you asking, like getting along with them?
Like just I no, I think yeah, I mean that's a way to like answer my question. I'm saying like how do you keep them all like engaged and like keeping them like like loving the game or like enjoying coming to practice?
So what I was saying with that, right, is like keep them engaged and stuff like that. That's more of just like your attitude. Like with like you just go and have a good time. Like, like obviously like, you're in charge, that you gotta set the tone, but you just go and have fun with them. Say what up to them, ask them, how was school, what you guys been up to, like you watch the game or whatever. Yo, like watch this, like warm like okay, like think about like when we played, right? Like it wasn't just like you get there and like we're just right into like drill. Like, you pass around with your buddy and warm up. So like people are doing that and you just walk over with them, maybe start juggling and flex on them real quick, and
Right.
then keep, keep spirits
So
light.
you try to like balance like you're obviously like having fun with the kids and they respect you and like you, but and you guys can goof off with them and have fun with them, but when it's time to get a little serious, they are comfortable just getting serious with you and locking in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the big thing is just like setting the tone, especially, excuse me, especially like setting a tone in the beginning. Like, like you practice a couple weeks before your first game, that first two practices, let them know how it's going to be. And that's that. You're cool with them. You're nice. You're fun. But when it's time to work, you got to work. And it's not even just about the team. Bill's character. Like they're young. They're kids.
Right.
I'm just making men out of them.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think the hardest part is about coaching? Maybe like, yeah, what do you find the most challenging? Uh, yeah, what's the most challenging aspect to coaching from what you've experienced?
For my club team, I would say, um, hmm, it's a lot more to. I like. Okay, there's a lot more to it. I see them 3 times a week. We have games. You know, um, I gotta it's not the hardest job in the world, but there's still, like I gotta figure out who's starting, who could be a sub for who. I gotta figure out a formation that best fits everyone's attributes. I have to, um, scheduling our games. Like we get our schedule, like my boss like makes or like gets that going, I guess, for like all the teams. But like I have to look at that schedule and make sure everyone's good with that. Sometimes I have to talk to another coach on a team we're playing and like, we can we move this game to then or blah blah blah, stuff like that. Um that's really it. I really enjoy my time coaching them. Like um I don't have anything like crazy to say, I suppose.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
everyone shows up to practice. My coaching staff, like we all get along. Like there's never really anything, you know, too big. I would say for the other part, like when I coach the little kids, that gets really challenging, and that gets really challenging. For like I said before, right? Like I primarily coach 3 to 5 year olds. They're babies, right? Like we get a whole curriculum, right? Let's say it's like I have a practice once a week for 8 to 10 weeks, right? We get a whole curriculum. The first 2 3 weeks is dribbling, Then the next couple weeks is shooting, and then it's passing, and then it's defense, and it's like, and there's all these specific things, right? And I'm just like reading it, and I'm like, they're 3, 4, 5 year old. Like they don't even speak fluent English. They're babies, you know.
Right,
Like
right,
I got these drills I'm supposed to teach. Like I got 3 year olds, right, who are like standing there crying because they miss their mom, but their mom is sitting in a chair right there, you know, like, and I'm supposed to teach them scissors, you know, like a bunch of different like skill moves, scissors, L turns and stuff. I'm supposed to do this game where the defender drops back and this guy comes, you know, and I'm like, yo, like this kid doesn't even know like his birthday or like doesn't even like can't count, you know, like I'm not even trying to like, you know, these kids are awesome, but it's like you just think about it, right? Like trying to teach a baby all, so it gets hard, you
you
know.
think it might be a little too demanding, like they might be asking a little too much out of these kids that can't really, you know.
Yeah, so I always take it with like a different approach, right? I look at it like with my 3 to 5 year olds, right? I look at it like they're babies. They don't need to be. They don't even need to be good at soccer. Like they're babies. Just have some fun with them, and let them figure out if soccer is a sport that they like and is something they'd want to play. You know. So
Right.
most of the times, right? And also like they're like an hour practices, you know, they're not that long. So it's like, and they're babies. So it's like a lot of times I just play a bunch of different games with them. I teach them skill moves and stuff, but like in an easier way. But we just play, you know, we play like red light, green light. That's a good dribbling game. Play sharks and minnows. You know, I'll set up a couple cones at the end because they're like too young to scrimmage too. So like but all kids want to score goals, right? So like at the end, I'll just like set up 3 cones or something like that, and they'll just like take turns dribbling through and then going up and scoring. You know, um, I just try and keep it like light for them,
Yeah, so you're like
but
keeping them all engaged.
it gets difficult just that like I have to interpret like the what was I saying, the
Like you have to follow the curriculum.
that's the word I was looking for, yeah. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
not the end of the world.
I mean, yeah, it seems like yeah, that seems it seems like the kids are obviously a lot, but yeah, as long as you keep them engaged and like having fun, they're gonna run around and enjoy it, not be crying as much.
Yeah.
Um, with like the older kids, like U13s, like have you ever had any challenge where maybe like kids thought they were starters and you can't start them? And like that's the thing about management is like you can't in any management you can't satisfy everybody. There's going to be people that are unsatisfied. So how do you kind of approach a scenario where like there's a
Yeah.
player that thinks they're a starter and you're not going to put them in as a starter? It's going to be a hard thing to break to a 12, 13 year old.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I play all my kids. Um, I don't like the idea. I mean, like they're young. You know, it's not like a high school
right,
team.
right, right,
I don't eat no matter how good we are. Like I don't like this is how I feel, but also just how like my whole organization feels. So like we all just play all our kids. Um, but yeah, I don't like the idea of just like a kid sitting on the bench an entire game, you know. So and like they pay money to be there too. So
right,
everyone plays. Obviously, we have our starters, and um, you know, like if you're not starting but you really want to, like obviously, you know that stings. I've never had any kids so far like I've asked kids like, how can I get better to start? And those kids like took it seriously and like really dedicated themselves and they got more playing time, you know. I've never really had any kids like give me a lot of like stick for that, you know. But obviously it's tough because I like them all and they're all really good kids and they're all like passionate about the sport. It's just at the end of the day you got to put your best starting 11 out there. Um,
right.
again, like everyone plays, so you know at the end of the day it's like everyone just wants to play. I don't even think like I don't think I'd get a kid complaining that they don't start. I think a kid would be more likely just to complain that like they didn't get a lot of time in the game, you know.
Mm.
And there are kids who get more time, but like everyone plays and everyone knows like you want, you know, everyone knows their role. So That's that.
You think they all like kind of know like, their place where they're
Every
all gonna get their time, but
tell you like everyone, like this team's good, dude. Like everyone has had their moment this season. Whether it's like you're one of my starters. Like we had a kid who just like gets a hat trick like every game. We had a kid, we had a center mid who we have a seven. It's a 10 game season. We have a center mid with like 10 goals and like a bunch of assists. And then or maybe you're a guy coming off the bench and then you score a big goal. Maybe whether you're off the bench or starter, maybe it's just like a good tackle and you get the ball back. It's like everyone's had like their good moments. Everyone on this team has their strengths, and we use those strengths very like successfully. Um,
okay, awesome.
all these kids have been really good.
That's great, dude. Yeah, 7-2 again. That's a great record. I mean, you guys got you guys got what? One more game. So we'll hope that the chemistry continues.
Mhm.
Um, but as far as like, so I mean, you guys are everybody. It seems like are on like pretty similar skill levels. Like you said, maybe there's like a kid or two that's scoring like a hat trick a game. Like that is probably like way above the playing field.
He's
But
um, but we have a lot of talented kids. Like we've had a lot of different goal scorers. Um,
okay, yeah.
yeah, we definitely have a group of kids who bang them in quite frequently.
I mean, do you ever have to like just focus on like one or two guys that might be lacking, or like I mean, because how many people are on your roster? I mean,
18,
okay, so there's 18 on the roster. I mean, so you're
11, and seven subs.
right. Okay, yeah, so you are rotating them in and out pretty frequently. But like, is it? I guess what I'm trying to ask is like maybe with different skill levels within the team, like, is it hard to?
Yeah, like now, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, like again, like this isn't like a varsity high school team. It's like we're like the best of the kids at that camp. Make it. It's like we have a tryout, but it's like they're young. Like you know, you get kids. A lot of kids make it. You get kids of all different kinds of skill levels. Um, yeah, I like they we have practices where like I'll lead it more often. Like I'm leading the whole thing, and my assistant coach and the trainer are like helping individually. And I do that too, but like maybe
Yeah.
like going over something with the whole group, and then like my trainer is talking to a kid. But then we have other days where like maybe my trainer has like a whole day planned and or like a whole thing like it was his idea to do this practice, so I'm gonna let him take the lead on that. And like he's doing that, and then I take a kid aside. um can't lie to you, my friend, I'm one of the best dang shooters in New Jersey. So sometimes kid take a kid or two over, stand on the top of the box, teach them how to curl it in top right
Yeah.
and stuff like
You
that.
I will say you are an amazing set piece taker. Um,
You need video evidence for your project. I
I,
give a lot of videos. Just
I've seen the videos. You just got new cleats too, which are really nice.
beautiful beauties.
Um,
Adidas.
yeah, see, like it's just I think it's great that like I mean we stopped playing soccer competitively out of high school, but you know, like the love stayed. Um,
Yeah,
let's
man.
ask a fun question. What's your favorite soccer team? What's your favorite club?
Arsenal. I started watching the MLS. Started watching the Red Bulls when I was young. Um, then over time, like, and then I shortly after I started watching Arsenal, and then over time I just like kind of because I watch a lot of sports. I watch hockey, football, soccer, baseball, basketball. So it's like over time I just started kind of like straying away from the MLS and just watching Arsenal. They play in England. They're in the Premier League. Um, and watching like the top five soccer leagues in the world, like Messi, who was on FC Barcelona in Spain, La Liga. Um, but yeah, if you ask my favorite teams, I would say Red Bulls and Arsenal. I definitely want to get back into watching Red Bulls.
Well, I'm a Liverpool guy, and they're gonna They won the
Your
leagues.
Liverpool guy.
Yep. And they just won the league, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I hate you guys. I hate Arsenal the most though. I love them, but I hate them. They just always do this. Was that 3 years in a row they finished second? Second.
3 years in a row, they finished second.
I went like this, and then to make two, I went like that, bro. But
Um, well,
yeah.
all right. I mean, yeah, no, Arsenal. I mean, Prem is one of the best. It's the highest. It has the most competition out of any league.
They
And
FIFA did like a whole poll, like a whole thing, and like they ranked. I mean, like it's a no brainer, anyways. But they ranked like Premier League the number one top league in the world.
right. So, I mean, you have like five powerhouses essentially. Like, if you look at La Liga, like the Spanish league, I mean, you have good teams, but it's been Barcelona and Real Madrid for the past, over a decade, just running that, and those were the teams.
And they
Like,
are, like they've
and
just
they still are, you know. Okay, let's say, is there anything that you wish you had known when you first started coaching, like before you went into it?
anything I wish I'd known. Hmm.
It's a tough question. I'm just trying to see, maybe is there anything that like you learned later on in coaching that you wish you might have known before, or
Um,
or did you,
really
is it
no. I'm
more
not.
challenging? Is it more challenging than you expected, or is it easier than you expected?
I I think it's just as easy or hard as I thought it would be. I don't know if I thought like I didn't think it'd be a walk in the park, but I don't think I was like nervous about it. Like I just love soccer, and it's also like a job, right? So I'm just like a guy working at a job, you know.
Right. So it wasn't like underwhelming or overwhelming. You think it was just
I just went into it with an open mind, and I wasn't like, oh my god, how am I going to coach this soccer team? But I also wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go 10-0 this season. I was kind of just like, all right, you know what? Like I love soccer. I'm excited to be here. This is what I want to do. I started, and I was like, all right, like it was just all good vibes. I didn't really like overthink it.
okay? Yeah, great. Is there anything that you would say to like a kid, maybe like a senior in high school that is falling out of, they realize they're not going to be professional soccer players, but they might want to start coaching? Is there any advice you have for somebody that wants to get into it?
Um, do it. Most like a lot of club teams, like because like I said, like I'm just doing like the one club team right now, and then like all the other like little kid teams. I want to branch out into just more doing like multiple, like away from the kid teams, and just do like multiple club teams. Um, but so especially doing that, but even just doing what I'm doing, like it's a grind. Especially let's like honestly, let's just talk about like the club team, right? Like my U13 Patriots, right? Like um they what was I saying? I literally just had a brain something there.
Um,
Question? Sorry.
yeah, so it was like it was basically if there was anything that any advice you'd have
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm rambling so much.
you're all good. You're all good.
Um, my advice, or just like something to tell you, is like if let's say you have like multiple club teams, travel teams, whatever. Like it's a grind. Um, you're gonna be coaching all week long. We have multiple teams. That means you're probably coaching on different areas, multiple days. Plus, you have to go to all their games. Most teams play on Sundays, so you might have to go to multiple teams games on Sunday.
Right, right, right.
So it's a grind. And it's like your job, right? So it's like you get a game on Father's Day, you're working on Father's Day and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's a grind, and it's a big responsibility too. I mean, you're in charge. You're taking care of like kids. I mean, first of all, you got to make sure everyone's safe. Um, you know, safe, and make sure everyone's just good, right? Like this is a team. We all care about each other. Got to make sure all the boys are good, right? And then also it's like you're their coach. Like you're the guy who's supposed to, and they're young too. This all like matters. Like we still, as big as like in depth, like big practices that we have, like big drills, we also still have to do like, skill moves and stuff sometimes. So, you're the guy teaching these kids, like this is what's going to stick with them. This is the kind of stuff teaching that's going to turn them into the type of player that they are when they like try out for their high school team. So it's like, you got to take that serious. That
Absolutely.
it's a big thing to think about.
So yeah, there's a lot of responsibilities that go into it. You definitely have to love the game and you have to, be super passionate about it to get into something like that,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Um, so yeah, I mean, you're basically saying, if you want to get into it, do it, but understand that there's a lot of responsibilities and it's more than just teaching kids how to play soccer. They're at a very influential age and,
Yeah,
it's about
absolutely.
motivating and making sure everybody's satisfied, or as many are as possible. But yeah, I mean, I think we've covered a lot. I really hope you guys win your last game. That would be great.
I think
Um, yeah, is it against a tough team?
they're 4-5. We
Okay.
beat the first time though.
Beat them
So
the first time?
yeah,
Well, it's hard to beat a team twice. It doesn't matter what level.
or we've done it.
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Fair enough, but just gonna put that out there.
I got faith in you, bro.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, if there's one thing, you could say to somebody that's, trying to get into maybe just not even coaching, just managing, because this is a sports management class. Um, I guess give us maybe like just a little lesson of anything that you've learned. Just a little key takeaway before we go.
Well, I mean, just like if you're trying to get a coaching job, right, or it's just like any other job, management job, anything like, you know, be confident in yourself and just be like, what am I trying to say? You're like have like an attitude where you're like a go getter, like you're trying, like I want a coaching job. I'm gonna, you know, send my application. If I don't hear anything back, maybe send an email. Like be on it. Like show initiative. Show like that like you're really about it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great advice.
just do what you want to do, man. Like do I love soccer, so I became a soccer coach. Like do something that you can look at and say, I'm happy doing this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take this job. I'm happy doing it. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like another miserable day at work. You're
Yeah, absolutely. And dude, like as a friend, I'm happy to see that you're doing what you actually enjoy doing. It's super important. Like enjoying what you do will make, everything feels like a chore when you don't want to do it. So, you know, being able to do what you love and like if you can, keep this trajectory going, you'll be able to coach at a super high level one day.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe the
and
new
like, yeah, maybe the Red Bulls, dude.
they've
Maybe,
never they've never won the cup and they just lost the cup. So you
right.
know, on a new manager, new head coach,
Tyler Kruger's your guy,
Jersey boy, born and raised. Come on.
100%. All
Yeah,
right, bro. Well, I think we covered everything. I'm not in a rush. I don't have my timestamps, so I'm not too sure if we got through everything in a good amount of time. Um, but I
I think
also don't want to be. You think we did? I also don't want to be going too long, so I guess we'll end it here. But thanks, bro, for doing this interview. Learned a lot about your position. I hope whoever watches this can learn a lot and take a lot away from it. So
again, thanks for thinking about me when you got this project going. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
well,
And
thanks for showing out, bro.
Hope
Love. I'll be seeing you very soon. Graduate in like a week, so I'll be back home.
there you better dust the boots off, dust the cleats off, you know.
Oh, the cleats will be dusted off. I'll be on the field with you.
We're not just taking free kicks, man. Set some cones up and we'll make you work.
I like that. I need the work, bro. I did a I did like a fraternity league here like last year. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. And
Yeah,
I was I got the ball, a perfect ball, center mid sent it over to me. I was playing up top, perfect ball, and it was just me, the ball, and the goal. And I was chasing after the ball, and I just tripped over my feet and fell. And I was like, dude, like there's no way I'm out of shape this bad. So
dang, bro. Do you see me? I think you were there when we played at the PAL that one night. I did the same exact thing with a basketball, bro. Do you remember that? I like stole the ball and I got a breakaway, and I was like about to go for a layup, and my ankle just like rolled and I just went like splat on the
just
ground.
like the realization of like, damn, maybe we're a
Yeah,
little washed.
I had it. I'm lost, bro. Yeah,
Hey, I mean, we'll lock in the summer. We'll get back into it. But
yes,
thanks
sir.
for talking, bro. I'll end it here. Cheers.
Peace out, buddy. Cheers.
Peace.